WCNC TV, Charlotte. This is Carolina's News Channel 36.
A smashed bus, a jackknife truck, 13 hurt, and ambulances scattered all over. The chaotic scene that shut down I-85. Tonight, good news on one of the most seriously injured. But first, we are following some breaking news in East Charlotte. It is a shooting involving a police officer. Let's go right out to News Channel 36 reporter Diana Rugg. Diana?
Well, Sonia, we have been here about an hour, and we can tell you that, we've been here all evening. We can tell you we're at the Timber Ridge Apartments, which are off Milton and Barrington Drive, and they are about a block behind me. The crowd has been pretty agitated here tonight after a Charlotte-Mecklenburg police officer fired a shot and hit a man here at the Timber Ridge. Police tell us it happened around 8:30 tonight as police were doing routine patrols in the area. The police tell us the man who was shot was taken to Carolina's Medical Center. He was conscious and talking when he arrived and gave police a pretty lengthy statement about his version of events. These are the same apartments where 2 police officers were shot to death 3 years ago. Chief Rodney Monroe says there has been some trouble here lately, which is why they had been stepping up patrols.
We've kept a pretty heavy police presence in this area. They had just simply gotten out of the car and were approaching a group of about 4 or 5 individuals. As they were approaching, one just took off running. He gave chase. As he was chasing them, a handgun was produced by that individual, and the officer, we believe, fired 1 shot.
And police tell us they did recover a handgun out at the scene here at the scene of the shooting. It is just a few feet from a memorial to those 2 fallen officers. They say they want to listen to that statement from the man who was shot. They also want to talk to the officers who are involved and any witnesses who are in the area, compare all the notes and find out what happened. Right now, they cannot tell us whether that man was shot in the back, as someone reported, or in his stomach, or any further information than that. Live now in East Charlotte, Diana Rugg, News Channel 36.
As you just heard Diana mention, this apartment complex is the same place where 2 Charlotte-Mecklenburg police officers were shot and killed in 2007. Officers Jeff Shelton and Sean Clark were killed while responding to a call there. Now, the man accused of killing them is Demetrius Montgomery. He is still awaiting trial. Now to the other big story today, that tour bus crash on I-85. A Southern gospel singer now fighting for his life. It happened at roughly 3:30 on the I-85 bridge over the Catawba River between Gaston and Mecklenburg counties. We have complete team coverage tonight. Greg Argos is at CMC with the latest on the conditions of those injured. But we begin with Tony Burbeck and the very latest on the crash. Tony?
Sonia, a witness who just contacted us on Facebook and we just ended up talking to on the phone says trucks were lined up and stopped on the interstate for a way station there when the tour bus simply could not stop in time, hit a tractor trailer, and then flew across other lines of traffic. A half-dozen ambulances, firefighters and paramedics treating at least 10 victims, 2 of them flown to CMC with life-threatening injuries. A smashed tour bus, a jackknife tractor trailer, all captured by Airstar 36 over the Catawba River on I-85 in Belmont.
I didn't know it was that big of an accident.
So big it stopped Thursday's interstate rush hour traffic cold. On the ground, we got a closer look at that smashed tour bus. A popular husband and wife singing group and their kids, plus other group members, were inside. Witness Nell Neal told us by phone what she saw.
There was a lot of screaming and crying, but it seemed that everybody was staying conscious most of the time.
The front passenger seat ejected when police say it slammed into the back of this tractor trailer.
The cab of the Smithfield tractor trailer swung around and then hit the front of the bus because the bus by this time had lost control and went across about 3 lanes of the road.
That tractor trailer had stopped on the interstate behind another truck waiting in line for the nearby way station. The tractor trailer then smashed into the truck in front of it, causing even more injuries. As crews treated crash victims, traffic chaos, with cars and trucks forced to drive up on-ramps just to get off the interstate. And at the Park Street exit, people in cars stuck in traffic
2 hours
or just barely moving.
At least an hour.
Some like this woman cutting across our path and hopping the median, hoping to find a different way home.
It's very annoying.
At the same time, realizing this can't compare to what these crash victims went through.
I just hope everybody okay.
Now, police do not know how fast that tour bus was going when it slammed into the back of that tractor trailer. That and whether the bus driver will be charged is still part of this ongoing investigation. Live in the newsroom, Tony Burback, News Channel 36.
Well, we have also been checking up on the conditions of all of those injured in that wreck, and reporter Greg Argos continues our team coverage from Carolina's Medical Center tonight. And Greg, what's the latest there?
Yeah, we do have the latest from Carolina's Medical Center officials. They tell us that Christian music singer Mike Bowling is listed as serious condition. His wife is in good condition, and their daughter is listed as fair. Of course, tonight, many of the news of this crash has many people praying for a speedy recovery.
The Bowling family.
They're well known in the Southern gospel music scene.
They're in the top of the echelon in the Southern gospel music industry.
The Bowling family, and Thursday night they're recovering after being involved in a very serious car accident.
We're on their way to the Inspiration Networks to film a new show for a TV special.
Chris White, a family friend and Christian music industry executive, says the family was traveling from Nashville to Indian Land, South Carolina when the wreck occurred. Carolina's Medical Center officials say Mike Bowling is in serious condition. His wife Kelly is recovering in good condition, and their daughter Caitlin is listed as fair.
We're all right now just praying for the best.
The gospel music group was traveling here to the City of Lights to perform in front of a live crowd.
The building is full, and they simply told the people what had occurred.
And those fans praying tonight for the Bowling family's full recovery.
Of course, there was a prayer that took place in the building. There's a prayer taking place in a prayer room beside us now. Of course, all the artists got together and prayed for him before they went on stage to perform. But yes, the show did go on, so to speak.
We can also tell you tonight that CMC officials tell us that out of the 11 people transported here to the hospital, 7 have been discharged. We're live here with our mobile newsroom in Dilworth. I'm Greg Argos, News Channel 36.
So here's what we know about the accident so far. Once again, it happened around 3:30 this afternoon. Authorities say a tour bus slammed into the rear of a stopped tractor trailer. 13 people in total were taken to the hospital, but as you just heard Greg mention, 7 have gone home tonight. We're going to continue to follow this story overnight. We'll have the very latest for you at 5 in the morning on News Channel 36. Charlotte is a front runner to land one of the most sought-after events in politics, a party's convention. The Democratic Party is considering Charlotte and 3 other cities for the 2012 National Convention. And tonight, we're taking a closer look at how we stack up against the competition. We are in the running with St. Louis, Minneapolis, and Cleveland. The Queen City may be the smallest metropolitan area, but Charlotte is the largest city, both in population and land size. The U.S. Census says there are just shy of 710,000 people here in Charlotte. The city covers 242 square miles. Charlotte has never hosted a political convention. St. Louis has hosted 3 political conventions. The most recent one nearly 100 years ago. The population is roughly half that of Charlotte's at 356,000 and some change. The city's size, 62 square miles. Minneapolis is a bit smaller than St. Louis, but more people live there. The U.S. Census puts the population at about 385,000. The city's size, 55 square miles. It's hosted 2 previous political conventions. And the same can be said for Cleveland, 2 conventions there as well. The population, 431,000. And the city, known as the rock and roll capital of the world, is about 78 square miles. The conventions mean big money and plenty of exposure for the host city. Thousands of hotel rooms are needed, and convention goers, of course, will spend money once they get here. By some estimates, the economic impact could be nearly $150 million. Whether Democrat or Republican, a lot of people are talking about this. You can join in on the conversation. Just head to our Facebook page, News Channel 36. The search for clues into who killed a Lincoln County junkyard owner moved into Gaston County. Take a look at these pictures from Airstar 36 as deputies looked for evidence in the woods near the Cherryville Country Club. They are trying to figure out who killed 67-year-old Dan Mullinax. His body was found inside a building at his junkyard near Lincolnton last month. A fire in that building was later ruled arson. He was on the run for a decade, but tonight a suspect in a murder and triple shooting in Texas is behind bars right here in Charlotte. Investigators caught up with Fidel Yanez at a gas station in Asheboro. Agents say a tip led them to him and that he'd been living there using an alias. Yanez is accused of barging into a Houston apartment and shooting 3 people, killing one of them. Tonight, some disturbing accusations of child abuse in Rowan County. Laura Shoup and her boyfriend, Mark Mowry, are accused of giving alcohol and marijuana to 3 girls, one of them just 9 years old. Shoup is the mother of 2 of the girls. The other child was spending the night with her daughters. Sheriff's deputies found out about it after the father of one of the children called the Department of Social Services. Rock Hill police arrested 19-year-old Dwayne Cherry in connection with a deadly shootout that happened last fall. That shootout closed roads down and forced a lockdown at some schools. The body of 18-year-old Tommy Barber was found behind a house on Catherine Street. Police say he still had a gun in his hand. 20-year-old Kennedy Chisholm is also facing murder charges in this case, and police are still looking for a 3rd suspect. While members of a church were praying, someone was breaking into their cars. It happened in Northwest Charlotte at Crossroads Community Church. Members walked out after Wednesday night Bible study and found shattered glass in the parking lot. Thieves had broken into 3 cars. The victims are frustrated, but not so much so that they didn't stop to pray for the thieves.
I was a little upset first, but then I thought of the individual. Hopefully I had some music, which is Christian music. Hopefully if they take that, they will be able to give them something to think about.
Now, we crime tracked the area around the church and found that it's really pretty safe. The biggest problem in that area, home break-ins. All new at 11 tonight, we have learned tens of thousands of gallons of wastewater poured into Sugar Creek after yesterday's heavy rains. CMU tells us 83,000 gallons of wastewater overflowed from the Sugar Creek treatment plant on Closburn Road. They say crews already started working on cleanup and repair and say they have not seen any dead fish associated with that overflow. Another milestone for the Gulf oil spill. Here are the latest new records set by the disaster more than 2 months after that BP oil rig blew up.
And we've got clear skies, dry air, and cooler temperatures. Could we be talking about a record low? We might just do that coming up in your First Warn forecast.
Plus, a man calls for help after getting stuck in a wall. You have to stay up to hear this bizarre story.
You're watching Carolina's News Channel 36 with Sonia Gann, Dave Wagner, the First Warn Storm Team's Brad Panovich, and Sports with Greg Bailey.